Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spine Chill Podcast, the asymmetrical horror podcast featuring talk about Dead by Daylight, VHS, Evil Dead, and other asymmetrical horror games. I'm one of your co-hosts, John Wolfe, here with my two co-hosts, The Hot Cross, Gary Bunn, and Running Man, who are here to talk about these asym horror games. If you're not familiar with me, I play a lot of Dead by Daylight on Twitch, but I've been a horror content creator for a long time, and I'm excited to be hanging out with you guys today.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I am Running Man, full-time content creator on Twitch. I am a fog whisperer. I play primarily Dead by Daylight of about 11,300 hours at this point on my main account.
Very impressive.
Mostly killer, but is it though? Is it? Yeah, I play mostly killer, a little bit of survivor. I also stream other horror asyms, like John mentioned, VHS, Evil Dead. Very excited about some of the games that are coming out. So thanks for having me. Thanks
for being here, Doug.
And why am I introducing myself like a guest? I don't know. This is going really well. All right, Gary, go ahead.
My name's Gary, aka The Hot Cross. I'm also a Dead by Daylight streamer on Twitch. My background's in game development. I teach game programming and design. I also make YouTube content with Dead by Daylight and incorporating game design stuff into it. And yeah, I'm happy to be here too, Doug. Running Man.
You didn't thank me for having you here, Gary.
John, thank you for having me today.
You're welcome, Gary. Thank you for being here. Thank you for guesting on this episode 1. Season 1, episode 1. Next episode, season 2. Okay. Okay, we got through it. That was a little tough, but we did it.
I feel like it was clean.
We could go again.
No. No, we're not doing that again.
We're a one take. I think we're a one take podcast.
Yeah,
we're a one take podcast.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll just kick things off then. So now that we've all introduced ourselves, we decided to make this podcast because we're good friends, the three of us, and we talk off stream, and we kind of shoot the shit anyway. And we figure we're so hilarious and such fun personalities. Why keep it to ourselves? Why not share it with the world?
It's been a crime that we've hidden it for this long.
I know. We should have done this a long time ago, frankly.
Well, I mean, it would have been hard to do this a long time ago because there was only one game to talk about.
True. Yeah, I mean, we're mainly going to be talking about DBD on this podcast because, frankly, it's got the most to talk about, especially right now. But I think all of us are interested in asym horror in general, and we've got some exciting upcoming games. I'm sure that eventually, as the episodes wear on, we'll have more games to talk about. So I'm excited.
Exciting times. Yeah, there's so many coming out. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
They're all horror games, and they make the spine chill. What can I say?
And one of them, any day now, is going to kill Dead by Daylight off. It's going to be great.
One of them. We just got to keep each one that comes along. We just got to say, this is the one that kills Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, this is the one.
And eventually we'll be right.
Yeah. It's like betting on red. Eventually it's going to come up red. We're good.
That's what DVD Twitter is anyway, so.
Yeah.
True.
Well, DBD had, speaking of DBD, had quite a lot of updates recently. A lot of exciting stuff.
It has?
Yeah. Why, yes, Gary. Would you like me to tell you more?
This is
yes,
news to me. It's news to me.
Well, let me tell you guys all about Project W, the latest DLC for Dead by Daylight. Project W is the second Resident Evil DLC. It just came out a week ago. Features a new killer, Albert Wesker, the mastermind, as well as 2 new survivors, Ada Wong and Rebecca Chambers from Resident Evil games. So, how do you guys like the new content overall?
I'm just going to rip the mic right here and let you know I think that this is a fantastic update. The new killer is fun to play. Very obviously like an iconic member of the Resident Evil source material. Everybody was very excited. So one thing I'll just throw it out. I've noticed compared to the previous couple chapters is just how dense the Wesker player base is right now. Like every
True.
time I play Survivor, 80-90% Weskers.
Yeah, Wesker's he's gone over very well. Everyone loves him.
Yeah. One could say that we're getting a little sick of playing against him. Even.
Maybe there's a lot of Wesker RPD at the moment.
It's a lot of like, I mean, in a game that really prides itself on its variety, 20 something different killers, like 30 different maps, getting RPD over and over again against Wesker as Survivor is a little repetitive, but I am excited to see that everybody's playing him though, because I do remember it hasn't always been like that. Sometimes there's a new DLC release and it's difficult to get the new killer in queue.
Yeah.
That has not been the case.
Do you recall Dredge and Sadako disappeared so fast?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, you recall how barren the Dredge player base was after like the first 18 hours? Like it didn't even make it 24 hours.
Which blew my mind because Dredge is awesome. Like really cool design, but people lost interest so quickly.
Right.
And Sadako was even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Day one you could barely find them.
Yeah. And now when I go against Sadako, it's like a once every couple weeks scenario. Completely dropped off.
Oh, she's bad, so it makes sense. She's miserable to play. Like,
yeah. The last Sadako I played against this last week, DC'd at the end game. So after all of us were still alive, so yeah, that could be part of it. But Wesker overall seems to have not only gone over really well, is a very popular character, but also seems like pretty strong, like fun to play, but also can keep up with the meta. It seems.
I think he's going to take. He's been one of those killers that people really have to like focus on. You have to master your Wesker gameplay, because I think there's a lot of like, if you use his M2 to block a window vault or something, because he can dash so far, I think you can do some very clever things with him. But I think he's going to take some practice.
Yeah. I agree completely. So my initial, I was one of those problematic people that kind of had like a snap judgment of like, wow, this killer is trash. This is a terrible killer.
I do
so unplayable, so bad. And I was
like a little back and
condescending.
forth in the Discord.
I was very condescending to my best friend Gary about his assertion that the killer might just take a little bit more time to learn.
You were basically like trying not to say, no offense, but you're just stupid and wrong, Gary.
You're just bad and you're wrong is the thing. No, but legitimately after my first session, I was like, okay, this killer is like terrible. Like just absolutely unplayable. And then after really getting in some hours off stream and really getting a chance to see all the cool little tricks. I mean, again, the ability to use the dash to block like tiles and to block windows, using the dash to close. So those were things that didn't come intuitively for me. So I didn't realize that they were a thing. Gary tried to tell me. He tried to warn me.
I was like, you're going down a bad road.
I wouldn't listen. So then I had to go back and give him the.
Yeah, I got a nice little DM.
You were right.
Where you're like, right. I don't like to say this, but you were right, Gary.
It's not easy for me to say I was wrong, but that was the case. So yeah, he does have like some really, really cool like almost like chess like set. You need to know your maps, but if you know your maps and you can set yourself up, you can really, if you know where they're gonna go, you can be predictive, you can really cut off a lot of outs from them. And
he almost makes you want there to be a killer perk, which is like Windows of Opportunity, but for killer.
Yeah, except that Gary, there literally is one called Zenshin Tactics. That's
yeah, Doug, Gary, you didn't know that? What the fuck?
I thought you were supposed to be the smart one, Gary.
This is why we've got you, killer main here, Doug. Like,
you know what Zenshin Tactics?
Shut up, John.
We need to rethink your position in the podcast.
John was like 2 seconds later, like, that's a great idea.
he started to say it too.
It was sarcasm.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. I was waiting for, because I was like, I know what Doug's gonna say. He's gonna bring up Zenshin Tactics, because that's immediately what I thought of too.
Well, you already knew. I already knew. Wow, you're so cerebral.
Gary just embarrasses himself.
That's what I'm here for.
Anyways, so yeah, Wesker does have a lot of like nuanced play that if you're able to master it. Again, it always comes down to like how much work do you want to do things that other killers can do for free. But if you enjoy Wesker, you enjoy Resident Evil, you enjoy the the vibe of the killer, then I think that he's like worth the effort to be able to perform pretty well.
Yeah. No,
That'd be my take on him.
I've had a lot of fun playing Wesker, and I haven't played him as much as you have, but I've the matches that I've played, I've had a great time. Like it was one of those things, like you said, where I think the first like 5 matches or so is just like, I'm just not really feeling it. But then like it's like once you kind of get a handle on him, and it really helps to know the maps. He's really fun. You can do some really unique plays with him, like, you know, cutting people off or getting some cool dashes off. Like
or sometimes when they're hugging the walls really close, you just go, "Oh, I can get a grab here. I can get a nice grab."
Yeah, definitely. I like threading the needle with him through like trees on like Autohaven or something. That's really rewarding.
Oh, I don't even try it. That's oof. That's
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I don't even try it.
When I play killer, I typically go for like I'm probably not gonna get this, but it's worth a shot, and I don't get it most of the time. But when I do, it's really fun.
And then it's a clip it moment.
Yeah.
Clip it, chat. Clip it.
It's worth all the times. It's worth all the times that I hear the exit gates get powered with 4 people alive and 4 adrenalines hit. It's worth all of those to get the one cool play.
I think my favorite thing about the Wesker update, though, is probably just all of the cosmetics. And
yeah, I was actually just going to lob that, is that, you know, we're talking a lot about Wesker, but really this chapter gave a lot to the Survivor side. We got 2 specific survivors, 6 new perks.
Yeah.
So many cosmetics.
Sheva cosmetic.
Sheva cosmetic.
I believe it's Shiva.
Oh my god.
I believe it's Shiva, Gary.
Yeah, Gary.
It's Sheva.
First you didn't know about Zanshin tactics, and then you don't even know how to pronounce Shiva. That's really disheartening to hear.
Really cringe, bro. That's 2 strikes, Gary.
But yeah, the new Resident Evil cosmetics are fire, in my opinion. Like they not only came out with Rebecca and Ada, which are, you know, they both look great, like almost exactly like they do in the games, and I think we all know what some of the complaints are about Ada's skin specifically. But yeah, Sheva looks great. Carlos, well,
Carlos was a surprise.
Yeah.
I did not expect to see Carlos. I mean, Sheva blew my mind, but Carlos caught me off guard. I just didn't expect it.
And they also improved Claire and Jill's faces finally after over a year. So,
although I miss Bee Stung Jill.
Yeah. Yeah, or like Cataract Claire. She had those glossy eyes. I don't know what was going on. Yeah, but everything looks awesome, and I've been loving seeing the full Resident Evil lobbies. Just like 4 different
well, and then
survivors.
they brought in skins for Felix and Fung as well. So it's like
the Felix one's amazing, just because it's Resident Evil 5 Chris cosmetic, but he looks like he's got Resident Evil 7's Chris's face. It's very bizarre.
I didn't want to love the Felix cosmetic, but I really do love the Felix cosmetic. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. The Funk Mean cosmetic, I'm just like, why don't I just play Jill?
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't just play Jill.
Yeah. Because like it's exactly the same.
I'm just weirdly into that cosmetic. I don't know. I've never really enjoyed playing Fung before, and now that's not the first time I've really played her. It was because of that cosmetic. I think it looks really cool. I don't know. Something about it.
By the way, for anyone listening, Fung is actually the correct pronunciation. Just want to throw it out there. It's like feng shui, for example. It's pronounced the same way.
Yeah, John, you taught me that, and I've done my best to spread the good word.
I'm doing my best to educate the masses right now.
Yeah,
I just say Feng because every time I say Feng, everyone starts questioning it. I'm like, I can't be bothered.
I understand. Yeah, I get that all the time. Why is you saying Fung?
Yeah, I come up to explain it like 100 times.
It's almost like not worth it.
I think people just assume that I'm going to mispronounce stuff, so they don't even try to correct me anymore. So
I'm sending YouTube videos. This is how you say Shiva.
Exactly. That's my brand moving forward. Proper pronunciation.
Yeah,
I'm. And then, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm on my quest to Prestige 6 Ada. I'm almost there. I've got her at 5 at the moment.
Yeah,
almost got the Blade cosmetics.
You didn't rock that last Prestige in a quick 3 or 4 more hours, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, I just got it the other night when we were playing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was really tired though, worn out. from one
Yeah,
of the Wesker players.
I accidentally spent like 1.8 million blood points on Leatherface Prestige, just forgetting that I had Prestiges to do because of the new chapter. So that was last night's folly. Whoops.
Whoopsie.
What prestige
Yeah.
Leatherface
Yeah.
are you now?
Yeah, what prestige?
37.
Holy
37 on
shit! Wow.
I think I'm like 2 or 3 on Wesker, and then I've got the first one on all 3 of the survivors. So
That's great.
both of the survivors.
My prestige
Really
is so
happy
low
for
in
you.
comparison.
Oh, I play too much.
I
And then
think,
we didn't. No, please.
Would we not mention? No, if we forgot something, I need to know.
No, I'm moving. I was trying to move to the RPD rework because I'm so excited to talk about it. But
Oh, okay.
you can stay on if you want.
Oh, I was just since we were talking about prestige, I think the highest I have right now is 10. I'm just.
Oh yeah, I think
so
mine's
behind.
10 as well.
Yeah, I'm just because I'm still. I just prestige won like Ash Williams the other day, so like I'm way behind on them. I've been putting it off. Some of the just some of these guy survivors, Quentin, and it's just like. Ugh.
Quentin's one of the few that I like P3'd because it was funny.
Oh yeah.
Always committed to the bit, Gary.
Yeah,
Gary, it would be a great bit to go P100 Quentin. You could be the first.
Oh god. Ugh.
The
If he was melted
first.
candle Quentin, maybe, but he's not anymore. They made him handsome. So it's like, I don't care about Quentin anymore.
Yeah, they ruined Quentin. He's
really not giving me riddles and trying to protect the ring or whatever. Yeah. What's the point?
My precious. I do.
I will say though,
Quentin.
I am focusing on trying to prestige Rebecca Chambers at the moment because I really like hyperfocus.
Oh, yep.
Oh man, yeah, I could talk about hyperfocus all day. What a great mechanic.
Yeah,
Doug and I were hyperfocus gaming on Friday. We were both bringing hyperfocus stakeout toolboxes.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Miraculously, we were not winning most of those games.
Yeah, somehow all the pushback from the killer mains, it doesn't seem to be translating to wins for John and I.
I don't know. I've been like destroying generators of hyperfocus. Like I've been doing. I can't believe how quickly they're going.
That's the thing. We were destroying generators too. I hate to sound like a typical survivor main, but it was our teammates.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you got to get 5 done to get the win, and even if we're hand delivering 3 to 4, that still requires 2 people to do 1 gen. That's a lot to ask out of your teammates.
It does feel like I spend most of my time in solo, and I'm like, I get 3 of the gens done. I'm like, I just need the other 3 to do 40% of the objective. I'm not asking too much.
Just do something, anything. There were a couple times when we played with our hyperfocus builds where Doug, you and I would do literally 4 out of the 5 gens between the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And then we would get left for dead in the end game. and the random would escape. Like not even looking back, just like I'm out.
Yep. MMR goes down. Later. Thumbs up, right?
Easy. Yeah.
It's fun though. People have been asking for a long time for the survivor experience to be a little bit more interactive. People get tired of sitting on gens. And so for me, having like kind of like a mini game, right? Like you're really like handsomely rewarded for great skill checks, and then it makes the skill checks harder as well. So I don't know, there's something oddly satisfying about. I know this is gonna sound cringe, but hyper focusing on your hyper focus status.
It's well named. It's a well named perk.
It perfectly named, aptly named.
But like every time I hit a great skill check and the little sound effect happens, my brain just gets so happy.
Oh, the reward center goes
and when you hit 6 tokens, it's like yes,
unstoppable.
And then dead man switch makes you get off the gen, you lose them all. It's like never mind.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Hyperfocus should just once you get 6 stacks, it should just complete the gen. Old brand new part.
Killer main John showing up again. Oh no,
we're out. We're like 15 minutes into the podcast, and already all the killer mains are out.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. I didn't know this was going to be 3 survivor mains talking on the podcast.
Whoa. You watch your mouth, sir.
Let me appease them. We should delete reassurance.
They already deleted reassurance. They already deleted it by changing it. It's useless now. Like I know that you two don't play as much killer as I do, right? And but I will say that the uproar over reassurance is very similar to uproars of the past where conceptually people were worried it would be a problem. I have not had reassurance impact a single game yet, and I've probably got
I don't think
40
it's a good
hours
perk.
of killer.
I think it's
But
fun, but yeah.
I want it deleted for a very specific reason. I've had 2 survivors just use reassurance on me and then just walk away from my hook.
Yes, same.
Delete
Same.
it. I'm on the side of the face camper now.
somebody came. I had a Nancy the other day. I was put on first hook. She came up. She used reassurance on me, and then I was just like, "Oh, she's going to do the gen. She's like using my hook time to get extra gen progress. Cool." But then she just stood by the gen, and like I saw her aura. She was just like standing around, and then the killer came by, ran her off, and then I went to second phase.
Yeah, reassurance is it's a killer perk.
The
fighters are trolling each other with it.
It's the new self-care.
It is, yeah.
I do think it's fun though. Like I bring it, and it's kind of fun to like because sometimes you're going for the save, and then the killer comes back, and then it's like, well, I gotta commit now, and so sometimes you can
unhook them all.
Yeah, so sometimes you can just be like, actually, just gonna buy ourselves 30 seconds, and I'm gonna try to go on a chase.
It's very good on RPD as well because you can do it from a different floor.
Yeah. You can do that on the game too, and
yeah.
I think it's a fun perk overall, but yeah, I haven't really seen it be abused.
Yeah, I don't see the
the
infinite circle of healing situation that people
the way that they've changed it now, the amount of coordination you'd need from 3 people to troll 1 person to abuse it is pretty
right.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue anymore. But I also don't think that the perk is really going to serve a whole ton of purpose. If somebody wants to camp, they're going to camp.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like that's one of the things I've learned playing the game is like. Because early on, if somebody was getting tunneled in my games, I was like, unacceptable. We must save them. And then now I'm like, let's just do gens. I mean, because you could body block all you want. You can give them borrowed time. You can give them new 20-second borrowed time, 20-second haste. But if someone's determined to tunnel, that person's probably going down unless you're in a full 4-stack.
The best thing you can do if you're getting tunneled and camped and stuff is just be on that hook as long as you can. I'm sick of people giving up. And they realize they're being camped and stuff. It's like just put up with it. Don't DC before you get put on the hook. Like just stick with it.
Don't give up on the
hook. Buy me
please.
some time.
Please, you're only punishing your hardworking teammates when you give up like that.
You're rewarding the killer.
Yeah. And it's funny because that's not what they want to do. Supposedly.
Yeah.
But
their protest is stupid.
I agree. What do you think, Doug?
I'm kind of down with them just letting go and letting me get on to the next game.
That's kind of what I thought. You got really quiet there. So.
Yeah, I was just letting the survivor mains
Doug would be happy if 3 survivors DC'd immediately and he got to kill the last person.
Then I can advertise myself as a 1v1 god.
Maybe 2 DCs so that you can
another top MMR 4K.
Another high MMR 4K. It's right there in the title. There's the whole concept of people communicating discontent through DCs and through giving up on hook it's really not serving, I don't think, the purpose that they're looking for. Like you said, like it's reinforcing poor behaviors. And again, though, like this all comes down to like personal choice and liberty, right? Like, does somebody want to be in the game? Do they really care that much about their teammates? If they want out, they want out. It's it's frustrating.
Which is fair,
yeah,
but
definitely.
At the end of the day, like you can only protect yourself by running with a team.
Yeah.
But it's reassurance is not, to me, the ace card that people thought it was going to be in terms of. I mean, again. This will always come back to this sort of idea, this mentality that like, that there's a perk that's going to save us, but there's really not. It's like you said, if they want to tunnel and they want to camp, they're going to camp and tunnel. And the teams that are really going to be able to effectively use reassurance probably already didn't need it, unless it was unless it's a Bubba, they're probably not going to need it. They're going to be able to work their saves out anyways. So
yeah,
right.
I don't know. I think that reassurance would have worked better. This is going to piss a lot of people off, but I think it would have worked better as a base core game mechanic.
Oh,
similar to the way that they've added in the
base kit BT.
the great value BT, right? There's 10 extra seconds of anti-tunnel
Right.
that you get for free, and then if you really want to double down, you can run the perk.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction, if I was in charge, that I would start going more, is having some of these perk mechanics just be base game mechanics, and then that way,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to, because to really use reassurance effectively, you need all 4 players running it, because they're the ones, you don't know who's going to get hooked, so they have to activate, right? So do you really want to use 25% of your perk slots on a map, just in case somebody in case somebody camps early?
It's why I never took DS, because I was like, that's one of my perks just filled up in case they tunnel me. Like,
right. I was never a big fan of DS either. I never ran it consistently.
I miss DS when DS made you invincible for a minute. You could do gens and do all that stuff. That was my favorite thing.
God.
I know. It's so much fun being invincible. I'm weird though. I miss all the broken stuff. Like, I miss the game just being wild like that. I feel like the more balanced it gets, the less fun it gets.
I agree. I'm a proponent for just let it be a mess a little bit, a bit of chaos. Yeah. Chaos is fun.
I do think DBD is at its best when it's most chaotic. That's true. Like,
the most fun I ever have is endgame collapse attempts at saves and stuff like that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was telling Doug about this the other day. Last week I had like one of the best matches I've had in a long time as Survivor. We were in solo queue. I was playing with my friend Max, and we weren't on comms. We were just kind of chilling, and like the main game, the gen phase of things, if you will, went by like pretty smoothly, but the killer was getting hooks, and it was a 3v1 at the end, and then all of a sudden they got it down with no ed, and then No Way Out activated on the gates, and then Terminus, we couldn't heal, and so it all of a sudden was just like, whoa, damn, like we gotta stay in this, we gotta do a save, and I went for the unhook, cleanse no ed, we waited for No Way Out to be done, and then the killer gets another down, we're at the exit gate, and then Blood Warden activates. It was the full end game scenario, and it's like the game like successfully hit all the beats. Like every time one of them not activated, like No Ed activated, I was like, oh shit. No Way Out activated, I was like, oh shit. Blood Warden activated, I was like, oh shit. And then, we successfully still got a 2-man escape. I went for the save again, but it was just like, that was awesome. Like, even though I died, I had a great time because it was just like thrilling and chaotic the entire time.
Yeah, No Ed's a great perk. Like,
you don't have to tell me.
Oh yeah, I think we're all fans of No Ed.
Yeah, we're all No Ed stans, I would even say, in this podcast. I do kind of I understand why they made it have aura reading now, but I kind of miss the old No Ed of like, it's a mystery where it is. Can we find it? And now it's just like, I just look for the aura. Oh, I found it. It's a little less exciting.
I think it spoils it from that perspective. But at the same time, like in terms of usefulness for the killer, it's made no difference.
Yeah, true.
I agree. Well, and I think that that was the point I was going to make, is I think that the No Ed change is going to affect the less skilled games, like the lower MMR games, because
yes,
I think that at higher MMR against strong teams, No Ed has not changed at all in effectiveness. If you the aura reading is great for teams that aren't already playing pretty optimally, but an optimally playing team like already kind of knows the dual spawn location, so they're already looking for it. The second it pops, they're already looking for it. Where it's at now, if your No Ed pops close enough to protect it, you can use it, but otherwise it's going to go away, which is how it always was anyways. But I think that's what that prevents, is at the lower MMRs, people just leaving because No Ed's active. They actually have a chance to find it. So I think that's it was a good change.
Yeah.
As a No Ed enjoyer, I think that rework change was absolutely the kind of thing they should be looking at, which is dulling the effectiveness at lower mid MMR, but like it doesn't change anything at higher MMR.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of looking at it. I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, in most of my games when I played killer with No Ed, I would get one hit value and then it would get cleansed, and it was still worth it a lot of times because you could set up that end game scenario where you were more in control. But yeah, in lower MMR, it is true that they run around like chickens with their heads cut off when something like happens.
Because they don't even know where
they just don't know where
exit gates are. They don't even know where the exit gates are. They're not 99 in the exit gates and calling out tile locations. Like, I checked 7. I checked 5.
Right.
Look at 1.
Right.
Nobody checked 1.
And also the game is still so bad at communicating things like that for a lot of new players or lower MMR or just more inexperienced, it happens and they don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, the first time NOED kicks off, you get the little expose symbol. Do you know what that means? Do you have any idea what's going on?
Yeah, there's no information.
Hacking. He's hacking. He's out immediately.
No. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. So many of my low MMR games were filled, like when I first started, were filled with well, I guess there wasn't MMR back then, but you know what I mean, when I was new. Were filled with people, like if they went down by NOED, they'd be like, how did you one-hit me in the end game? And they would get so confused about it. And it's because the game doesn't properly explain what's happening in scenarios like that.
There should be like a different kind of UI until you get to a certain point.
Yeah. It would be nice if there was like
it just gets really ridiculous. Like you get hit with NOED and it just goes, 1 hit down, dude, NOED.
I'm all for that like power thirst announcer coming over the speakers like no one escapes death. Like it pops up in big red letters.
This is a serious video game.
I would have loved that. I think that should happen like anytime.
Please take it a little bit more seriously.
Dude, if the killer hits
the Halo announcer in.
Yes.
Multi-kill.
Yeah.
Double down. Triple down.
Exactly.
You got bud.
4K. I think
devoured.
I sincerely think though, like say the killer hits you and you get mangled. I think it should just be like sloppy butcher all over your screen. I would love that. They should just lean in on the chaos.
Out of this. You're making a farce out of this serious competitive game, John.
Right. I'm sorry.
Game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I was thinking it might be a casual party game for a second. My mistake. All right.
That's okay.
I'll reel it back in. Sorry for embarrassing you guys.
Dead by Esports will never forgive you. All right? Yeah.
Oh.
Overall, though, we've kind of gone all over the place, but I think that the game's in a pretty good spot right now. It feels better. I think a lot of the initial hand wringing and screaming from the rooftops about the last major balance patch where they reworked perks and added time to the gens and all that. I think we're really starting to see a lot of things people were super worried about. To me, haven't really been much of a factor. The built-in base kit BT hasn't impacted me at all. Reassurance hasn't impacted me at all.
Yeah.
As someone who really didn't like the 6.1.0 update initially because solo queue lifestyle became miserable. I do wonder if that was a preemptive change ready for this one, because I do think hyper focus and some of these other perks are like gens are popping now. They've started popping again. Like
yeah.
I just think the game, honestly, it might be the most balanced it's ever been right now.
I said that on stream the other day. Like just the other day, I said the exact phrase. I think it's the most balanced it's ever been right now.
Yeah,
for real. Like, because I'm in a similar boat to you. Like when I was like, because I mostly play Survivor. I do play some killer as well, but I mostly play Survivor. So when I saw like, oh my god, they're adding 10 seconds. They're adding 50 seconds to the Survivor objective. Like that. I mean, like Swift will be able to handle it, but I was like, that's going to be horrible for solo queue because people already don't do gens in solo.
And it was miserable.
It was
for
miserable.
2 weeks. It was very sad to play solo queue Survivor.
Yeah, for the first couple of weeks, I was like, suspicions confirmed, misery, But yeah, lately, the past couple of weeks, I've been really enjoying my solo queue Survivor games still.
Yeah, I think it's some of the most fun I've ever had in DBD. I got a Scratch Mirror Myers on Mother's Dwelling the other day, and it was one of the most fun matches I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
so good.
A fun jump scare Myers is like some of the most fun you can have in this game.
I've never had Scratch Mirror not on an indoor map.
Yeah,
they didn't bring a map offering. They brought a Black Horde.
Just brought it. Yeah.
And they got Mother's Dwelling. I was like, and it was terrifying. Didn't know where to look.
Yeah, I mean, normally you would think like, oh, if you're gonna bring Scratched Mirror on Myers. Like you need Learys, you need an indoor map. But I've played against some very good jump scare Myers on outdoor maps, and it's almost worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
Frankly.
terrifying. It was
Yeah.
terrifying because usually you just look
Yeah.
at doorways. I had to keep
Yeah.
360 view because I had no idea. Like, you could be sneaking up from any angle,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he did.
Yeah.
He got me multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah. When you play against a good one that's getting downs, it's really fun. A lot of times
Yeah.
you play against a scratch mirror Myers that just like a poor guy, they just can't even get a hit, and those aren't really that fun. But yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you get the ones that they get that first hook and then they just like camp the hook the whole time.
Yeah.
They just leave them for saves.
Oh yeah.
So you brought this whole ass mimic build or meme build just to stand in the corner, wait for us to come on hook.
Dude, if you're gonna
That's
camp with
weird.
Myers, you might as well bring your power.
Matt, for real.
Or
you
just
can
play
get
Bubba.
insta-downs. Or
Just play
put-
Bubba.
Yeah, just double down, play Bubba already. Come on. There's nothing wrong
Like
with
Doug
playing
does.
Bubba. Listen, I'm a Bubba stan as well. I think all
Oh,
three
yeah, I
of
like
us,
Bubba.
all three of us are pro Bubba now. Bubba's one
I
of the
used to
most
hate him.
fun.
I used to hate him.
Yes. Yeah, me too. But when you play against a Bubba that's not like Insidious basement camping, it's actually like some of the most fun loops in my opinion, because it's so scary when he's
Yeah.
got the chainsaw going. You don't know if you
Yeah,
can
no, I
make the
agree.
loop.
Obviously, like Bubba's my favorite killer in the game, has been for years, and
Yeah.
playing against him again. I think the problem is that there's just so many people who use Leatherface as a camping mechanism. He's got guaranteed secure. So I think you get a lot of bad behavior. Bubba players tend to go hand in hand with Noed and Franklin's and a specific play style. So
Yeah.
but at his core, I think he's one of the most fun killers all rounded in the game.
Dare I say, one of the best designed.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'd agree.
Gary used the word design. High praise.
Ooh, high praise from
High praise from
resident Professor Hotcross.
Professor Hotcross, yes.
I like it. But yeah, I guess I mean our overall feelings are thumbs up on Project W. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think West was great.
We're hemorrhaging viewers right now because we're giving positive feedback about Wesker, positive feedback about the new perks, including reassurance, positive feedback about the meta, the balance patch. We need to get negative about something quick.
I can think of something negative to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about RPD. Because everyone hates it.
Right, Doug?
Mostly
Everyone hates it?
No, absolutely not. I think the RPD rework was fantastic, and I think that the map is both versions of the map are where they need to be, which is this is my personal experience. I'm one player, but I feel like the ability to pull a long chase on RPD for Survivor now does actually hinge on being a good runner instead of just being able to hold W to a couple of really unsafe or really unfair areas in the map. The old RPD had a couple of really unfair areas. Like there was just basically nothing you could do but run the window to entity block.
Yeah.
I mean that we all know that main office
one window
area was just absolutely unplayable.
Yeah. Strongest flip in the game at the time.
Yeah, I think that the PTB version with the extra pallets was really hard. With the double pallet loop at main lobby was insane.
Yeah.
But they removed all that stuff. They took like half the pallets out, and now it really does feel like a pretty fair map.
I've got to say, I'm a little disappointed that you like it, Doug, because I like it too. I was looking for you to hate it. Actually, because I really like RPD.
Are we in agreement on a positive opinion? Because I like it too.
Yeah, I think it looks better. I think and I love old RPG. I think we all, at least when we Swift, we would get a good giggle out of taking offerings for it.
Yeah, yeah. I've always liked RPD.
I liked RPD. I thought it was an interesting, unique map, but the split I actually think I like more. I like the outside area. I like the new pallet spreads. I like the new loops. I think it's a lot easier for killers to find hooks, because they can obviously there's holes in every wall. There's no dead ends like everywhere.
Yeah,
I think it's just a lot more interesting. It is slightly smaller.
The biggest difference to me are the holes in the walls. The broken walls have made it a lot easier to navigate. For one thing, for people that had a problem with that on this map, but also like it makes it a lot more dangerous for Survivor, and in a lot of cases too, like killers that you would have previously just been railroaded in the hallway by them, like Huntress or something. You have places to dip out now, which I mean that was. I also have to say that was one of the hardest maps in the game to play as Huntress, for other reasons. But I feel like it's more interesting, like to navigate now into loop.
I mean, would I be bold enough in saying? Would I be too bold in saying that actually the most problematic part of the map now is how easy it is to 3-gen if you don't properly handle it?
I think the gen
main
placement
lobby.
is very like that's where I think it's balanced okay, because I think the map overall is still Survivor sided. I think a lot of the palettes are still quite strong. But gen placement is where I'd say like the killer can target and protect areas.
It's very easy to 3-gen.
Especially if there's 2 gens in the main lobby.
Yeah, which there are. It feels like a majority of the time there.
At least half of the games I see one at the top of the stairs and one like on the base area.
Yeah, which means that you're automatically going to have that third spawn on one of the 2 sides to make it an easy 3-gen. And then if you're playing in solo queue and your teammates aren't thinking proactively with what gens they're popping, you can get into trouble real quick 3-genning on that map.
Yeah, it's happened to me a couple times. Oh my god, I was playing against 4 slowdown Legion the other day, and we 3-gen an RPD. In solo queue. We somehow, I died, but we finished the gens. I was amazed.
That's insane. I was just gonna ask what you did with your 5-minute DC timer. Right? You're watching a YouTube video, or
no? A couple of times. You guys know me. I'm fucking. I don't give up on shit like that, and I should. But I was sitting there like. Because I was like, I would just give up on Hook, but I was like, I think we can finish this last gen, and like, nobody was helping me. He was constantly getting like Dead Man Switch, like he had Dying Light Thanophobia, all that crap. And we finally did it though. We finally got it. It was like a miserable 25-minute match though. It was awful.
Yeah.
And then you died and watched them all escape.
Yeah.
What could have really helped there is a little hyper-focused stakeout game. That's
I kind of left that one at home for that one. I was just bringing my usual fun builds. That was my mistake.
Yeah. You got to get serious if you want to win in this game.
I think that outdoor area, I'm a little split on though.
I like it.
I think it's cool. I think that they did a great job because of making the exit gate by there much better.
Two ways to actually get to that. Like when you're working on that door in the old one and the killer comes and you're like, well, I'm trapped. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I'm fucked. Yeah. Yeah, I hated that. So I think that that's good that they don't. And a lot of times when you would spawn there too at the beginning of the game, you have to go in the main lobby and then hear the killer's terror radius and then there they are, you're in a chase. And so now you have an option. So I like that about it. But I just don't like playing as Survivor there. I don't like the loops are very unsafe to me, and doing the gen there is really dangerous.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like it actually, like you really have to play well to run that map well now on Survivor. Before it didn't feel that way at all. Everything was just free. You just hold W to whatever the next safe tile is.
Yeah, and I'd say like it is. They are on safe pallets out there, but it's also quite an out of the way gen for the killer.
It is. Yes. Yeah. And it's one of those things where you have really long line of sight too for Survivor.
Well, I almost treat that outdoor gen like the main building gen on Dead Dog. Like I just still let him have it. I don't care. I don't care enough. Like you said, it's out of the way. There's not usually any reason to protect that.
Yeah.
Gen. Yeah. I mean, I'll take a chase out there if it's free if they give it to me, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to check that gen typically.
Yeah,
I do love playing Wesker in that outdoor area though, because especially by the exit gate. I mean, that's a pretty easy way to just M2 someone.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go. But overall, I'd say the RPD rework is kind of a win as well. That map's gone from a cringe or wanting to Alt F4 loading into actually being tolerable now. So
I haven't seen survivors just DCing when they see it.
Oh, that still happened. We brought an RPD offering on Friday, and somebody DC'd with the loading screen.
It was a survivor that did it too.
Of course, it's always they always DC on RPD.
I mean, it could be because they're just a bit fed up of it because it's in high rotation.
That's true.
Isn't it? It's like every I think 3 out of my 4 games are on RPG at the moment. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's new.
You gotta get the achievement stacks though.
I was just gonna say they did that achievement. So for me,
Yeah.
I'm bring it on until my achievement's done.
Yeah. And then no more.
Then I'll be back to Alt F4ing it as well. So
we need to find something to disagree on, guys. Because we've agreed on. Okay. Let's go.
Blast Mine has had a bit of an update.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you
Why?
use Blast Mine and the killer doesn't kick the generator, you still lose it. You just lose Blast Mine. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think that's dumb.
I think it's dumb. I think it's unnecessary. I imagine the reason that they did it was for the inclusion of wiretap. Weirdly, it seems like the only thing I can think of why they would do that to Blast Mine.
Okay, so the rumor I keep hearing is that Blast Mine was always supposed to work that way, but it was bugged to let you get your charge back if it didn't get used. What? And that they fixed the glitch. Quote unquote. That's again like I as a fog whisperer and a person who's pretty plugged into the development process in Dead by Daylight right now, I have not had that confirmed by any source with any information. Right. But I have heard a lot of people in Twitch chats who are their own version of PhD. Right? They have been telling me that was always supposed to work that way, and that they fixed the glitch. So
everyone's so confident about these unconfirmed opinions. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I mean, my opinion on the Blast Mine thing is I think it's a good thing to change it. I think Blast Mine is a very strong perk, not because you could always.
You have to say like.
I will say why it's a strong perk. Give me a second, Doug, and I'll tell you why it's a strong perk.
You've upset me, Gary. So
this is the content. Continue. Thank you, Gary, for upsetting Doug.
As a solo queue survivor, I more often than not use it as a bat signal to tell survivors to come help me on a generator or heal me. The Blast Mine is like a secondary power to it. And it is always funny when they kick it, but I can use it over and over again as a bat signal to give information to my teammates. And I think that's where I think it was always quite a strong perk. Whereas now I'm not using it. I'm not wasting it on just getting information. I'm using it strategically now to get the stun on the killer when I think they're going to come kick my gen. So I think it's working more as it should be than as I was using it. And I think many others used it. Like, you just get Blast Mine, you just put it on a gen. There's no reason not to. Whereas now, there is. Like, don't just use it because you've got it. Like, wait till the killer's coming. It feels much better to use, I think.
So you wanted them to take out the ability to give information to your teammates about what gen they should be working.
I think it has a dual purpose, and I don't know quite why it gives information to my teammates when it's meant to be a stun the killer thing. But I think this change stops me from just using it perpetually as an information thing.
I think that change stops most people from using it perpetually in general. It's like if the Blast Mine stun actually did anything but buy you 3 extra seconds, like it might be. I might understand, but like the Blast Mine stun,
it's also hysterical.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Which is why we should increase its frequency and duration, not reduce it. Like, I think it should be more prevalent. It should be more up.
I'm just saying I just understand why they've done this.
If their reasoning was for wanting you to not be able to give free information, they could have just removed the information piece of the perk and kept the stun the same, though.
Which I would have been equally happy with.
That would have actually made sense. Because you don't really gain anything. If Blast Mine, like, if them kicking the gen, like, resulted in anything beyond a 3-second stun, I might be able to see what you're saying.
But I still use it as a way of telling. I still use it to tell my teammates, this gen, I was working on it.
Why would
Please
you not
go
use
finish
Discord to do that?
Because I'm not in a Swift.
Okay.
But at the same time, you could argue solo queue is already a nightmare and it's lost another one of its tools. So
that's exactly what I'm saying. So you're telling me that, like, you want its effectiveness nerfed, but like in a Swift, it's not effective anyways because you already have that information. So you're actually what you're doing here is, and this is going to be the big controversy this week, Gary, is you're actually pulling and screaming.
I'm the killer main.
And lobbying for solo survivor nerfs. And that
that is a great point.
I can understand that. I think Blastmine is a very undervalued perk, which I don't know why more people don't take it because it's quite good. Now I understand why not everyone's taking it. Beforehand, I didn't understand. Now it's just another perk.
Yeah, I just want them to leave the fun perks alone.
Gary,
Like,
have you
anything that encourages people to run fun perks?
We still have head on.
Another bad perk.
yeah, it's a bad perk.
Gary, have you ever checked out one of Nancy's perks, Better Together?
True.
No,
You ever heard of Wiretap?
Wiretap's fun.
Wiretap lasts for
They
like
should prob-
80 seconds.
Yeah, they should probably take out the information. That's too much information for all you solos.
That's
out there.
the
You know?
point of it is information, but Blastmine isn't the point of it. The point of it is to be a stun and a blind to the killer, but it's also giving information. Like you shouldn't have perks have dual purposes. They should do
See.
one thing well, and Blastmine did two things well. So I can see why they changed it.
What if they got rid of the yellow aura and they revert it back to?
That would be absolutely fine as well. Because it would still do the exact same thing where you're using it to stun the killer and not as an information perk.
I see.
Interesting. Quite.
Yes,
Quite
We
interesting.
disagree on that. I guess
Interesting.
we
We'll
could
just let the
probably talk
comment
about-
section take care of you, Gary.
You're done for, bud.
You're done for, but yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea what they're gonna say about you.
You never stream this game ever again.
But yeah, I guess other things we might be able to agree or disagree on. We talked about matchmaking incentives.
Oh yeah.
Blood web costs are
matchmaking incentives-
fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm
This latest update not only gave us Resident Evil characters, but also gave us some very interesting grind reduction.
Which actually feels like a huge reduction now. Like I just feel like I can actually prestige characters, and it's not so much effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They.
I've heard a lot of.
I was just
heard a
going to
lot of
introduce
pushback
it
on
for
that.
everyone that
Go for it.
they've introduced matchmaking incentives, which if they need more survivor players or more killer players, depending on how many people are in queue, they'll give up to double blood points for you to play one of those roles that's needed. And in addition, they've reduced all items in the blood web's cost by, I believe, 20%?
33%.
33%? Okay.
33%, yeah.
Even more than I thought, yeah. So things that cost 7,000 now cost 5,000. Things that cost 4,000 before are 2,500. It's very noticeable. Very noticeable.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and you were ripping through prestige levels quick, but I've actually heard a lot of pushback on this. Recently.
Really?
This has kind of been the new.
I have too.
The last couple days has been kind of the new hot Twitter thing. Is that with the reduction in the grind comes a lot more like godlike add-ons and godlike survivor items.
Yes.
Basically, every match is going to have iridescent add-ons. Every match is going to have like purple flashlights and commodious toolboxes. It just basically it's like the economy has changed, and now it's a lot easier to bring strong items. And I mean, I'll echo that for when we were playing. Just John and Max and I were playing the other night. I was spending points on my blown web just to get bloody party streamers and get like extra items and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get good.
That is an interesting thing. Like it's trained in my brain just to save my brand new parts for Swift days, but
Yeah.
maybe now I'll have like a lot more than I'm used to. Like I'll just bring a rainbow map. Why not?
Yeah, I'll bring.
I haven't seen amount of add-ons on Boba.
At the same time, though, killers have the exact same thing, don't they? Like they're going to be able to bring more of their iridescent add-ons. So it's if everyone's bringing the stronger stuff, then the problem is brand new parts are way better than.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I mean, it's true that killers will be able to bring like, more powerful add-ons, but I think it's kind of exacerbated a little bit on the survivor side because, if all 4 people are like, let's all bring commodious toolbox because screw it, we've got tons of them now. Let's all bring brand new parts. Let's all bring purple flashlight with double battery or double lens or whatever. It's a lot easier for them to do that now. For everyone to just be totally stacked in the lobby.
High balanced gameplay,
which I think honestly, I think a potential solution for this would be to adjust the rarity of some of these stronger items and add-ons that maybe flew under the radar. Like Commodious Toolbox should absolutely be purple or higher.
Right.
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can make just a couple adjustments to these. Like, maybe purple flashlight's pink now. I don't know. I don't want to. I love flashlight users. I don't want to make them, have to work harder really for this stuff. But just an example. Maybe some things could move to pink. There's not really that much on the pink side on Survivor anyway. It's like brand new part, odd bulb,
new part, and rainbow map.
Keys.
Yeah. Keys. Honestly, they should just remove keys at this point. Or, well, I have an idea for keys, but maybe I should say that for another time.
Yeah, we'll do a whole episode on that, John.
That would be a fun thing to try.
Talk about keys for 2.5 hours.
I think, because I think keys are like horrible, like useless now. They need to do something about them. But now it's just like anytime I see a key, even if it's not just a green key or like a key add-on in the Blood Bowl, I'm just like, ugh, avoid. Entity, please take it. God.
Free from this curse.
But yeah, there's not that many pink on the Survivor side. It's like there's, brand new part, odd bulb, rainbow map, pink key, right? Like that's it.
Yeah. I think just talking about this and thinking about this, I would argue that like this has got to be like a huge blind spot for the development. Like objectively, Commodious Toolbox is better than the purple toolbox, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
it's very
objectively, a yellow medkit is better than a green medkit, right? Like the green medkit is garbage. It's just a brown medkit that goes fast. Like
it depends on what purpose you want it for, in my opinion. Because sometimes green's nice because it is so fast, but
Gary.
Just saying.
We were so close to just like nodding our heads and moving on to the next point.
Carry on though.
I'll make a deal. I'll trade you all my green med kits for your yellows. You got it? Is that a deal?
Well, no, I still want yellow as well. They got different. They do different things.
Anyways, yeah, I think that items could definitely use a little Passover in terms of rarity and effectiveness.
Yeah, I think that's all they would have to do to really solve that issue. Because there's really only a couple of items and a couple of add-ons that are the standouts, and they've stayed the same rarity for like years. They've never been adjusted. So
yeah,
I think overall it's not like a huge issue, but it's also we're in the short term right now. We're not able to see the long term effects. Yeah.
If I start playing Killer and I just notice solo queue start bringing brand new parts and stuff, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is miserable.
Everybody's got like Commodious brand new part wire spool, or like I don't know,
with hyper focus and stake out.
Everybody's bringing like the most cracked flashlights, or like they're bringing purple med kits with gel dressings and
yeah.
The good old-fashioned 4-hill med kit, my favorite.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like if you're playing Killer and like one person has a cracked item, it's just like, oh, okay. But if all 4 people are like, yeah, let's all bring our cracked items and, bloody party streamers, and we can just get tons of items, just snowball it, that could be an issue in the long term.
Yeah.
Time will tell, I guess.
Time will tell.
I don't know that it's a huge issue, but it's definitely a pain point for Twitter right now, is that every game has all the best items and all the best add-ons.
Well, we'll check back at season 5 and see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's about it, huh? What else is on the DVD docket? Is there any?
We talk about is streamer options, like with anonymous mode and.
Oh, you're talking about how when you put on streamer mode you can't report people now because you can't click on their profiles.
That was the point I was going to get to. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's a big oversight.
It is a big oversight. Yeah.
Which means hackers are a little bit safer, which I don't think is the direction anyone wants the game to go.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that is an issue, and I'm kind of anti-streamer mode anyway. Like, I understand why people use it, but at the same time, like, I like seeing other people's usernames, and there have been people that I've met through endgame chat, through like nice wholesome interactions, and the only reason that I was able to like continue the interactions outside of the game was because I saw their username, or they saw my username, or they went to my stream or something. And
you bump into the same username like a week later, you're like, oh my god, this is the ace that saved me from, and then you say something nice, and it's like a nice back and forth.
Like
I agree completely. I'll never use it.
I only just like sort of introduced myself to Sergeant Fidget like the other week, but I remember their username. Like I've caught them in solo queue like many times in the past, and I've been like, oh, it's that Sergeant Fidget person, because I always thought they had like a funny username. And like if I've got streamer mode on, like I'm never gonna have that kind of.
I think you still see the names in the
dynamic
post lobby, don't you?
I don't think so.
I think that used to be the case, but then with this new one, they've completely blanked them out.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you can't report them in the post game. But like
they're on the profile, it just says the clown.
Yeah.
The mastermind.
Oh right, yeah, it does do that, doesn't it?
There have been other times too when like I've gotten like Coconut RTS and solo queue, and I've been like, oh shit, that's so cool, like that we just bumped into each other, or like, you know, I'll look at who the killer is afterwards, and I'll be like, oh, I was playing against, you know, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, I always light up when I realize I'm against Sammy MJ or Lilith Omen or someone like. I'm like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
cool.
I like the social aspect of not being in streamer mode. I also am a big fan of.
Like I said, I understand why people do it. Totally, definitely, especially, you know, people that get that have larger communities, and people might go harass another streamer that they're with, but.
Or stream sniping, like they might want to try and avoid their lobbies being seen, and
but I feel like the social aspect of DBD has been like neutered enough with like the end game chat censor and stuff, and crossplay now. Like you just don't get end game chat like you used to when it was all PC or.
I will never get used to the censor. I wish I could just turn it off.
Yeah, same. I wish we had a choice, because I don't like it either. I actually know a content creator who plays primarily killer who turns off crossplay specifically so he can have interactions in post game chat.
That's cool.
Yeah, he gets tired of all the crossplay guys who can't.
Yeah,
I do hate when you finish a really good match and you go into the post game, you write GG, and then it's just silence.
I know.
Even, sometimes they're PC as well, and they still don't write anything. You're like, why did we bother having this experience together if we're not even going to talk at the end?
Yeah, and especially when somebody gets like off like a really cool end game save or something, or you have like a really wholesome interaction with someone, and then you get to the end game and you're just like GG, GL in your next, you know, whatever, the usual stuff, and you just get nothing, and it's just like, man, that would have really like elevated the experience for me if I could have had like some one-on-one interaction.
The amount of times where you're in solo queue, you're the only one who dies, you save everyone, you die, and then nothing in the post game. You're like, really? Not a thank you, not a GG.
Even a thank you, Gary. I know.
I know. Makes my blood boil.
Well, like
Gary talking about post game chat like a lover scorned over here.
Start writing GG me. Good luck next me.
It's not just on Survivor too. Like, I mean, I've had plenty of times when I play killer and I'll be against like all crossplay, and I'll just have like the most fun match. Like they're going for flashlight saves. They're trying to bully me with like locker CJs and stuff. And then like we get to the end and I'm like, I had a really great time playing with you guys. And then nothing.
Yeah.
And
did you win?
Well,
because when you win those games, they just move on.
It's true. Well, I've had both, like where I've won and they obviously didn't say anything. But then even ones where I've lost, or there was like a 2K or something, just nothing. I know that a lot of people in the DBD community complain about, you know, they get flamed in the end game. The game's so toxic. I can't remember last time I had a toxic interaction in the end game. Yeah, I know
my experience is a little different, but I do play a specific role, a specific way.
Right.
I feel like it's a non-issue though. You can just close it off. You can I hear people complain about how toxic endgame chat is or how toxic the community is, and like I hate to sound like dismissive, but they literally are tools in the game that makes it so that cannot be a thing. If you make your Steam profile private and you turn off endgame chat, you just click on the little 3 arrows on the right side. Yeah. You can never ever have to experience any abuse at the hands of other players in this game, outside of hackers.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
right. No, I've had
stuff.
I've had people in chat tell me like, this game looks fun, but I don't want to get yelled at, and so I don't want to play. And I have to tell them, I was like, you click the arrows in the lower right, no more chat permanently.
Yeah.
You don't ever have to
You
see
never
it.
have to see any of them.
Yeah, you never have to interact with anyone if you don't want
You
to,
can pretend they're all bots.
which is totally fine. But I see that side of things, but I also like the interaction a lot. To bring
Yeah,
it back
I love
to
it.
the
Some
streamer
of my
mode.
some of my favorite moments in DBD is just the back and forth where you, and Doug's the same.
Absolutely,
Just
yeah.
like
Yeah.
winding someone up in the post game.
Mm-hmm.
They
It's
say
my f-
something.
My favorite, I think my
Yeah.
favorite meme is just pretending like I don't understand what they're complaining about and trying to get them to like super explain it to me why they're upset. And
Yeah.
then at a certain point, they realize that I know, I just don't care and I'm having fun. And yeah, it's the best content you can make.
That's pretty much the entire update, I think.
Yeah,
think
I mean,
so.
I think we've covered it thoroughly and completely comprehensively. So great.
Okay.
Positive opinions all around on most things. Most things.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess,
Sorry to
I
be
guess
the
Gary had to
down.
ruin it.
one more thing though. They did
Uh-oh.
confirm. They did confirm on the DBD forums that Wesker's hitbox, the power hitbox, is going to get a buff. It's going to be
That'll
somewhere
be-
between PTB and live.
That'll be interesting because there's two sides to that, because I understand what people are saying with the small hitbox. So it will make like easier open space hits, but also something that happened more on the PTB that hasn't happened on live to me playing Wesker is just going down a hallway, hitting nothing and colliding. And that hasn't happened for me on live.
Yeah. I honestly, and I will say, I quite like when you hit someone with Wesker. It feels very satisfying because obviously,
Yes.
it's kind of difficult to hit.
Yeah.
I don't want it to become, because as you say in the PTB, if you were near a survivor, you grabbed them. It wasn't
Yeah.
difficult to hit anyone. But at the same time, you did hit every, I don't know,
Oh my
a
God.
pencil leaning out of a desk. That would
Like-
stop you.
On Springwood, like the hedge bushes on the side of the house, trying to go down that with Wesker. I there were so many times when I just was going down it straight and I hit nothing and he would just stop. And I'd be like, well, that chase just got elongated by another 30 seconds thanks to that. So I'm a little concerned about the hitbox going up, frankly.
Yeah.
Oh, I do understand the concern of it. He's quite difficult to. He's going to take a lot of effort to get good with.
Yeah. I mean, I had similar problems with Blight too, and clearly that's Blight's fucking
not an
like
issue
wrecking
anymore,
people.
right?
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure they can fine tune it, but yeah,
Yeah,
overall,
I'll be interested to see if they're able to increase the box without making, like you guys said, him bump off of every,
yeah, the
stray leaf
thing.
on every bush.
Yeah,
I think they'll get it. They got Blight's collision down pretty good. He still slides off a few things, but for the most part, I think his collision is pretty consistent.
I did go on a little mini rant about this on stream the other day about just general collision on maps, because there's so many times when like I'm trying to loop as survivor, looking behind me, and I'll just like run into a little twig sticking out, and then I just get hit, and I'm just like the loops should be completely flat, point blank, period.
I'm not sure. I think there's two different types of colliders in Dead by Daylight. I don't know. Like Blight reacts differently to different killer shacks.
Yeah.
So there's some weird things I think they're still working on, because they're trying to nerf the hug tech on Blight right at the moment. That's what's supposedly being worked on, and I think that's them fixing the collider issue. But I don't know the details. I don't work there.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
Wesker could be having similar issues with different colliders.
Yeah. We'll see how things go, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go on a little rabbit trail about collision, but it's just so annoying sometimes. It's just like, where you're trying to like loop a pallet, and then like the wheelbarrow handle sticks out a little too far, and then you're just like,
oh my God, yeah.
You just kind of slide against it and they get a free hit. Ugh. Whatever. That's the survivor.
Sounds like a skill issue to me. Sounds like a skill issue. Yeah.
Get good.
I don't know.
It happens to me on Killer too. Like sometimes I'll be like trying to fake out like a pallet by going, back and forth on the edge, and I'll get hung up when they vault, and I'll just be a little bit late, and then they'll vault back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drive you crazy, huh?
Yeah. Makes me rage out.
Does it?
And then John gets really toxic in the post-game lobbies.
Yeah, and then
Oh yeah, yeah. At this point, you need a chat censor. It gets so brutal.
and then I tell my chat to harass their stream and
Go
Yeah,
fly, my
send them
pretties,
over.
fly!
Blast them on Twitter.
yeah,
Downvote all their Instagram posts.
yes, just follow them around everywhere. Downvote, downvote, downvote. Well, I think that'll kind of do it for our Dead by Daylight segment. It was only an hour and a half long, so we've still got other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got a couple of things coming down the pike, right? VHS announced a new update that's going to be dropping soon with a new monster.
Yeah, what's
new
it called
map.
again?
Deathwire.
The monster? Deathwire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up a picture of it right now.
It's a robot.
Yeah, I saw.
Killer.
Like, I've seen it briefly.
That's like a battle bot, right?
Killer
Or
robot.
something out of the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
so
pretty neat.
I played VHS for the very first time on Friday. Doug, you were there for most of it.
Yeah, you were incredible. I mean,
Thank you.
Really the glue that held the whole team together. I feel like.
Thank you. I enjoyed going down the first 15 seconds, like 5 matches in a row. That was a great experience. No, I actually, just in general, the general thoughts about VHS. A lot of people out there actually don't know about Video Horror Society, and you would be forgiven for not knowing much about VHS, considering they've barely marketed the game at all, and that's part of the reason it's not as successful at the moment. But it's another 1v4 game similar to DBD, except the gameplay is quite different. The goal is to kill the monster as survivors. And the goal as the monster is to basically, obviously kill all the survivors, but there's no hooks. You just down them and slug them. It's like if DBD was nothing but slugging, kind of, in that regard. And I played it for the first time on Friday. It's been out in early access for over a month, and I have generally positive things to say about it.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, Gary hasn't heard my thoughts on VHS.
Yeah. I was about to ask, like, how did you feel about it? Because
well, I didn't play any of Monster. It's worth noting. I only played as Teen, and I only played, in a Swift with Sinnoh, Doug, and Linksy. So we had a 4-stack for most of the time. But I'm very bad at it at the moment, like, because it has such different gameplay.
It's a very different creature.
Yeah, it's not based on looping. The most fun that I had playing the game was we were on the school map, and I found some like pretty strong vaults, and then Doug showed me another strong vault, and I was like, oh, you can like play this conventional DBD, if you're unarmed. But other than those places where I was like, oh, you can loop the killer here, it was just like, killer found me, I held W until I went down. And I wasn't so much a fan of that.
The looping, the chase mechanics and the chase progression is so different than Dead by Daylight. Like, you're not going to beat a monster in that game in chase outside of like misdirection and corner juking and like mind gaming in that is more like which direction are they going to go, but there is no real like looping outside of a couple of like windows which we showed you. There's really no areas where you can.
If you lose the monster in that game, you've done well.
Yeah, you're not gonna get away. You can buy time, but you're not gonna get away unless you're able to like hide around a corner or like slip off.
Mm-hmm.
But usually they'll notice like pretty quick and turn around once you're running out the door again. It's much more about communicating with your team, I guess. And like if you're being chased, it's where are you, team? I'm gonna bring him to you as best I can.
Where are weapons at so I can get him off me.
Yeah.
Spacing is really important. Like it's insane to me how important it is where you take the chase this team. Like if you take the chase early, like if you know that you're being chased early, you can buy so much more time than if you get like snuck up on, basically.
Yeah, it seems like if you get into a chase early, what you want to do is you want to know where everyone is working on weapons, and you want to take the killer away from there until they're done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
gens in DVD, really, I guess. Like take them away from gens that are being worked on.
it's kind of interesting in VHS. Like you want to sandbag your teammates when they've finished their objective.
Yes.
Yeah.
But ideally, you're telling your teammates, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. So it's not
Right.
sandbagging. They're ready around the corner going, I'll get them in a second.
Yeah. Overall, though, I had a really nice time with it. Like, I spent a lot of time on the ground in the dying state, but I did enjoy the gameplay loop. My main complaint was just that queue times didn't allow us to play as many matches as I would have liked. But I'm definitely down to like play more in the future, and I wish the game the best. I really hope that Deathwire and the upcoming updates will help spread the game.
I'm looking at Deathwire right now. It looks kind of cool. It makes me think of RoboCop.
Yeah. I want to give a gold star to the devs too. They decided, so they have a new teen and they have a new monster ready to go.
Ooh.
And they've decided, because of the way that the matchmaker has been going right now, with there being a predominantly team players queuing up, they're going to release the monster first by itself.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
Use that as an opportunity to kind of normalize the queues a little more.
Yeah.
Because of course everybody will want to be playing the new monster. So for at least a few days, we should have really good team queues when the new monster drops.
I will be interested, John, for when you play Killer, because it's very different. I would say it's one of the most stressful but exhilarating asymmetrical games I've played in terms of playing the monster killer mastermind sort of perspective.
Yeah.
Would you say, because we both played Resident Evil Resistance back in the day. You played a lot more than I did, but I still played a bit of it. Would you say it's comparable to playing Mastermind in Resistance?
No.
Okay.
It's very. I'd say it's closer to DVD than it is Resistance.
Okay.
I'd say it's closer to Rainbow Six Siege than DVD.
Ooh.
I'm being honest here. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can understand that argument. Yeah.
VHS plays like a tactical shooter. It's not. Killer plays itself in DVD. You hold W, you press M1, sometimes you use your M2, you break the pallet, you move on to the next tile, rinse and repeat. With VHS, you have to be more like, it's more about like managing where people are, what they're doing. Like you have to know kind of intuitively what everybody's doing at any given time and be able to smell like ambushes and like smell setups. And
it's kind of like when you're the last man standing in Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah. And the enemy have a few teammates left. You're like, right, okay, I've got to be really careful about this. That's how it feels when the teams all have weapons and you're the monster just like round a corner. Like, I've got to try and get someone here.
So the way that the game shakes out in terms of like when the game first starts, when you zone into the match for the first time, the monster is at a huge advantage, because if they don't have weapons, right, you've already felt how helpless you feel in chase against a strong monster, right? So
yeah.
But as the game progresses, it's like the game balance as you zone in is monster is much stronger than teens, but as they get weapons, the power level actually shifts.
Yeah.
And it becomes more teen-sided. Like once they have weapons, they have the advantage. And so you have to like be able to play, resources to know, am I at an advantage? Is it kind of a wash, or, are they at an advantage right now? And you have to play differently depending on that.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's a really deep game and it's really fun. I know a lot of people don't like the monster experience because they like just being able to have the game kind of play itself. But if you're interested in having to like kind of work for it and kind of having to really play reactively and differently based on scenarios, I don't know. It's just DVD just feels very much like very, very simple. And I think the VHS feels much more complex.
Right.
When it comes to playing Killer.
I agree. There's a lot of like strategy to VHS. Like every single corner you go around at a certain point, you have to be thinking of what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Would it be fair
where four other people are at?
Would it be fair to characterize VHS as more of a competitive game compared to DVDs?
I would say so. It's much more. I think it's a much more balanced game, and it definitely feels a lot more competitive, which I like about it. But I also like it has its negatives as well.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the main appeals for me for Dead by Daylight is that it is very casual in a lot of ways, and it has that wholesome social element every now and then of like, there's crazy chaos and fun moments that can happen that you don't see typically in competitive games. But you know, in my brief time in VHS, I don't think we ever had a moment where, you know, we interacted in a way that wasn't, you know, kill, and it's definitely different. I do like that about it, honestly, as well. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, you don't get the downtime of like sitting on gens with your friends and just talking about your day. In VHS, when you're in the game, you're talking about how your percentage of your weapon is, where the killer is, what the plan of action is.
I do like that though, because like as much as I like that aspect of DBD, the casual aspect, it does make it much more clear cut for expectations as far as play goes in VHS of like, yeah, you're not fucking around in this one. Like, it's kill or be killed. Let's go. Ping where you are. Let's get this done. You know, it's like very...
I'd agree. Dead by Daylight's got two different sides of the player base. The people that see it as casual and the ones that see it as competitive. Whereas VHS, as you say, it's very clean. It's competitive. You're trying to win.
Like, you're not gonna go up to the killer and like do a teabag duck walk in front of him. It's just like, oh, aren't I cute and charming? Don't you want to just let this be a farm game? That's not gonna happen.
No, it's like, no, you're dead.
Yeah, right. Interesting. I will have to play Monster at some point. I'm wanting to get my feet wet with Teen though, but I definitely want to play it again.
You're getting used to the maps as well, so
yes, that's the hardest part right now.
I don't know if I'd advise starting off with Monster because it's
no. I'm probably, if I ever do play Monster, I'm gonna play like, you know, dozens of hours of Teens first, I think.
I'd recommend that as well.
Yeah.
Glad you're liking it though.
I am liking it. Like I was honestly, I came in with an open mind, but I also was prepared for it to be the only time that I played it, because that happens a lot with Asyms of like when we played Monstrum 2, we just played it the one time, and I was like, yeah, I think this is a one and done. That happens so often with asymmetrical horror games, where I'm just
it's
like,
such a difficult genre.
Yeah, I mean, Propnight, like I don't know what's going on there now, but I'm probably never gonna play that game again.
I'll play it again when it gets its re-release, its graphical update. I want to see how bad it is, because last time I played it, I spent more time installing it again than I did playing it.
I think they've already released the revamp in Propnight. I think so. I saw people complain about it.
Let me look. I know they had it in beta for a while. Did you see that one of the things that they removed was being able to hide as a prop?
I know.
Yeah. So for anyone listening who doesn't know what we're talking about for Propnight is like, it's an asymmetrical horror game, 1v4, one person plays killer, 4 people play survivors, but it's like Gmod prop hunt, where the survivors can disguise themselves as a rock on the ground, or a wheelbarrow, or like a Coke bottle,
giant teddy
bear, so they can disguise themselves as props, and the killer has to figure out who's just a random object and who's a survivor in disguise, and they can move around and be chased as like a bale of hay or something. And it was a really interesting like mechanic, and it was what it was all based around, but they're completely revamping the game now and apparently removing the ability to do that. So
well, I think a lot of it, there's a big giant design flaw with it, with the fact that as a killer, you're so weak in that game. The survivors run around bonking you and then farting, because it's funny. It's really funny to bonk on stun the killer and then do a fart noise as you roll away. And then the killer's just sat there going like, I'm struggling and having no fun and I'm getting farted at. I'm going to camp this hypno chair, or whatever it's called, the hook.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a bit of a... I played killer in that a little bit. I didn't particularly enjoy it.
I didn't like it either. Because oddly enough, I didn't really like the prop aspect when I was playing killer, because I would go into a room like where a survivor just ran, and then I was like, there's nobody here. So they disguise themselves as a little prop, and then you feel like such an idiot walking around like smacking random watermelons and corn cobs.
I think we played some games together, and every time I started saying stuff like, hi, John.
Yeah, very irritating.
I was nowhere near you.
Gary was saying in his head, he's like, I'm going to wind him up.
I'm going to get on his nerves, I am.
This'll wind him up.
Yeah, I've played the killer side of every Asym that's ever come out, and I think that Propnight is probably the least enjoyable experience I've ever had playing killer in a game.
Yeah.
It was like conceptually it sounded fun, it just wasn't fun. Like, and then so what they've done is they've added, and again, I don't know how it's gonna actually, they've made so many changes during this like reborn beta phase. For a while they just took hypno chairs out, and it's just like if you down somebody they were dead. They tried that. They tried single hypno chair. They made it so like now if you're a prop, they have an aura of you like within 8 meters or something like that. So you can't actually use the props to hide. You just use them to juke. I don't know. We'll see where it shakes out, but I hate to say it, but I feel like it's just a dead game and it's not.
Well,
I think so too.
They haven't got a clear vision of what it is, and it's hurting it.
I think they're trying to make it similar to DBD when its greatest strength was that it was like full party game, and they're completely making it like too serious now.
Yeah, they've gone in the wrong direction. I agree.
Yeah,
but you never know. Maybe when we play it, it'll be amazing. Because I'd be up for giving it another go.
Yeah, I just liked how silly it was because like on the spectrum of casual party game to competitive game, where VHS is full competitive and DBD is somewhere in the middle, Propnight was very firmly on the casual side.
Yeah.
And it did offer a different experience. It's just not really a different experience that resonated with many people, sadly. But we'll see what happens with it.
Agreed. But a game that does still have a little bit of life left in it. Evil Dead's got an update coming out here in like 4 days.
The Plague Bearer, right? New
Plague Bringer,
Plague
Bringer is coming, and then
two new survivors.
David and Mia Allen, from the remake.
Ooh,
2013 remake.
Cool.
Being added into the game, and Mia's powers and playstyles have been kind of like released a little bit, teased a little bit. I don't think they've confirmed everything super, but she's gonna have complete protection from possession.
Oh, really?
And the higher the fear level, the more damage she does. So she's gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with.
That sounds worrying from the demon side.
Yeah.
So for anyone out there not familiar with Evil Dead the game, it's another Asym horror, obviously. 1 demon, 4 survivors, and it's a bit different. It's more like Friday the 13th style than a lot of the other ones out right now. It's like there's a very large map that you can drive around in a car, and your goal as the survivors is to exorcise the demon. So you have different objectives that you can go through, and it's very combat focused. Third-person combat focused.
From the survivor's perspective, I would say it's like Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
From the demon's perspective, it's like Resident Evil Resistance.
And all, true.
Placing your traps and your enemies to go do your bidding. You occasionally possess stuff to get more involved. But you're both basically watching it from above, sort of.
Right. Yeah,
very interesting.
I think overall, Evil Dead is an interesting Asym because I find it has more in common with like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood than it does DBD. Because it kind of feels like you're doing a co-op campaign on the survivor side, which is a good thing, I think, because it helps differentiate it. But
and the director AI is just an actual person.
Right. Yeah. But it's like you're going against the director as the demon, but the most of the monsters that you go up against are AI.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. It is like Resistance a lot in that aspect. I'm glad that they're still supporting the game, like with the new content. That's great.
Yeah, I think out of the 3 of us, I am probably the most invested in Evil Dead. The game is probably, I would consider it like my second favorite game to play right now outside of Dead by Daylight.
Oh,
I absolutely love the game, and I really hope that they stay this committed to the updates because it's sort of died off as far as Twitch content. Like I think that the average views in the directory are between 100 and 200. Obviously very, very low. But that's not to say that the game's going to die. I mean, with the advent of crossplay, like all the console players, like I don't see it ever dying. I mean, the queues are better in Evil Dead than they are in DBD and VHS at this point. Like I have instant queues on both sides, Demon or Survivor, at all hours of the day.
Great. Yeah,
that's very good. The player base is healthy.
That's actually one of the biggest issues with these Asym games is that like a lot of times after the hype wears off, after the launch hype wears off, and you get kind of into the following weeks and months, it's just like you got to make sure that the queue times are good, because if people are just sitting there in queue, they're eventually going to lose interest. I've seen that happen time and time again, where people are just like, there's just no one playing. There's just no one playing this game.
I think it's what's hurting VHS the most, and I'm sure it's hurting DVD at the moment because killer queues aren't fun.
Yeah. Well, at least in DVD they have those new matchmaking incentives that
That's true.
are helping to incentivize that. I think every game could kind of use that to their advantage.
Agreed.
But I'm glad to hear that
Yeah.
queues are instant. That's a very good sign for Evil Dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously new content coming. They're working on the game. It's not going to go away anytime soon. And we guys, a licensed game like that. I mean, Friday the 13th still has a player base, and that game hasn't had a
Right.
substantial update since 2017.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years ago. So I mean, a licensed game on a beloved franchise, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, like it's going to be hard to kill off. And so, yeah, if the devs
Right.
keep on adding content, I see it sticking around. And again, Predator Hunting Ground still gets good queues.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
it's
Really?
crossplay. It's crossplay. Crossplay saves games. I'm telling you, console players play like
boy.
one game forever.
I played a bit of Predator Hunting Grounds when it came out, and that's one of the few that's one of those one and done games for me. I played it for like
Oh, man.
one session for a few hours, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, but I'm weird.
I'm glad to hear it's still got people playing it because, yeah, I was just like, if you would have asked me, do you think it still has a player base before this, I would have said no. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, no, like I said, the full console crossplay makes games unkillable because console players download games when they're free on PlayStation Plus or on Xbox, whatever their version of PlayStation Plus is, and then they just play it forever.
Right.
Never stop playing. So
yeah,
but Evil Dead's
strong licenses definitely help too, like you said.
Yeah, Evil Dead's licensed and it's got new content coming. It's got full crossplay. It's not going anywhere. So hopefully it'll have a little bit more of a resurgence on Twitch. I would like to be able to stream it more.
Oh, definitely. I think my main concern with Evil Dead is that I believe that there's like a short-term roadmap, like that they've got updates in the works for a little while. But I do worry about the long-term health of the game, like how much could they possibly add year over year?
Yeah, there's only so many films. There's only so much like of a TV series.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a ceiling where it's like there's nothing else to add? But then at the same time, could they do what DVD does and cross into other intellectual property?
I think
crossovers could work. I mean, whether they have free license to add to canon would be another question. I mean, I think Evil Dead's pretty like liberal with their licensing, right?
Definitely.
Like, they're kind of all over the place forever.
If they start adding original characters and original killers and stuff, or demons rather, like that would be really awesome.
I'd be willing to bet that that's on the table with them, just given what I know about the licensing.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great for it. I think that would, like, I like Evil Dead the game. I think it's really good. I think it's quite fun, but that would bring me back to it fully. I think if it was getting like unique, I think part of it is that I just don't see it having much of a future at the moment. Like I think it will have that ceiling point.
Yeah,
if they start adding their own stuff in there, their own unique, unlicensed material that they're just bringing in, I think that would mean it could be going for years. Like it's nice.
Yeah,
because I think that's one of the reasons why DVD had such good longevity. Is like you look at their model and you think this could keep going forever. Like literally, I mean, they could add 4 new killers from different horror franchises in perpetuity. It's just like, I mean, you add Candyman one year, you add like, I don't know, Until Dawn Wendigo the next. I mean,
the dream. Give me Emily as a survivor.
It's just it's just endless because it's just like any horror property really. And I think with I think that's the problem with it's like, I mean, I love Friday the 13th, but at a certain point with that game too, it was just like, it's just gonna be Jason, huh? Like there's only so many Jasons.
What kind of mask do you want to put on Jason?
Yeah. And I think that that is a hurdle that Evil Dead will face, but I hope that it continues.
Yeah, we'll see. The new update will be out in like 4 days, and we'll see kind of where they're. I guess we'll figure out a little bit more what their plans are over the coming months when we hear what they start teasing and announcing and stuff. But
that would be cool.
Does it come out
play it again as well?
Does it come out on Friday?
On the 8th. That is Thursday.
Oh, okay. Oh, Thursday. Interesting. I was about to say, like, I wouldn't mind playing the new update. Like,
I I still
Yeah.
haven't seen the new map, so I'd be down.
Oh, there's a new map. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they added like a map like a month or two ago now.
Yeah, like,
We should
like
play
an Army of
some.
Darkness map with Castle Kandar. I'll play
Yeah.
anytime. You just say the word.
All right.
I'm addicted to that game.
Let's play right now.
Yeah, you want, all right,
Bye,
your
guys.
podcast over. We're gonna
No, yeah, we should play later this week then. Yeah, I'll check. I'd like to check out the new update.
All right, let's do it.
All right, cool.
Book it.
So yeah, let's see. VHS, Propnight, Evil Dead. I think we've kind of covered the ongoing.
I wish we knew more about the Texas Chainsaw game. That's the one that I'm probably the most excited for.
Me too.
I assume you are, Running Man. I assume you're very excited.
I could literally talk about that for hours.
That's the one.
Like,
That's the one where us three are going to be the killers together. I can't wait for that.
Oh, that's gonna be. I cannot wait to be like. When we play, Doug, you'll be Bubba, obviously, but I would. Gary and I would be. It would be our pleasure to be the little henchman.
Yeah, to be Running Man's team.
Yes, we would love to lurch around the map. I don't know what they do, kidnapping survivors or like holding them hostage for you. Would love to do that.
Whatever it is, I think you're going to be the two best in the business at it. I could.
Yeah, if we could be annoying, our dream.
Yeah, being annoying is like our entire MO. I feel like.
Yeah.
That's our mantra.
With the Texas Chainsaw Massacre being my personal favorite horror licensed horror franchise, with my obsession with Leatherface, with the fact that Wes Keltner, who was the creative director of Friday the 13th, is running the show over there. I have all the faith in the world. I've never had more faith in a game to deliver like I do in the Texas Chainsaw game, and it's just so clear how passionate they are about it, how passionate Gunn and Wes are, and they're just
the trailers are awesome as well. Like
I'm
very excited for that game.
Oh man,
I've never been more excited about a game in my entire life. Like, this is the one for me. Like, I'm just really, really excited.
And because the killer can play with friends as well, I have a feeling it could make a big splash. I think it could be like.
I genuinely feel like that was with intent. I feel like that they figured out one of the biggest things that turns people off from playing Killer in DVD and Killer in VHS is that there's like no social aspect, because people want to play with their friends. So even if people enjoy playing Killer, Monster, or whatever, like, they want to play with friends. So the ability to do that on both sides of the game is really, I think it's going to really thicken up the player base on both sides.
Seriously,
people will
like,
actually play the side they prefer.
Yeah, I mean, Asym horror has been around for years, and it's like one 1v4 game after another, with the exception of like Friday the 13th, which did the 1v7 thing, which was great too. But this new 3v4 format, I'm honestly kind of shocked that it's the first time we've seen something deviate from 1v4.
And I suspect playing Survivor in that is going to be super exciting as well.
Yes.
Being hunted by Bubba and his crazy family. I want to play that. I think that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Well, and then Wes was talking about on Twitter recently, just about the concept of, like, it's 3v4, which means balance is actually easier, because like you're not going to killer in that game is not going to be far off Survivor in power level, right? Like, we can't, because there's three of them, right?
Well, if you want to balance something, the easiest way to do it is to have symmetry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just barely Asym, right? 3v4. So you're going to just be slightly weaker. Survivors will be slightly weaker than Killer. It should make for some really interesting gameplay. I'm pumped. And then Killer Clowns is going the same direction, right? They're doing 3v7 or 3v. Is it 3v7?
I think it's 3v7. Yeah. The Killer Clowns from Outer Space game, which I still cannot believe is real.
That surprised me. I
thought it was a joke. I thought it was too. I was like, is it real? Like, what?
No, and they've they've got Wes Keltner on Texas Chainsaw from Gun Media, but they've also got another former Friday the 13th guy, Randy Greenback, working on Killer Clowns.
Yeah,
it's definitely promising, because you got these Friday the 13th alums making these games, and with strong licenses again.
Yeah, they're not scared of the licenses. Apparently, they're right back in it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I just hope. I think my concern with Killer Clowns, we haven't really seen too much from it yet. My only concern with that is, like, I hope that people will stick with it if the gameplay's fun, besides just being like, oh, let's check out the killer clown game. Oh, zany clown game.
Yeah.
You know, like I hope it has a robust meta and stuff.
I think it has maybe the most uphill battle with its IP.
Yeah.
I worry that its IP will kind of hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll be more of a meme thing than it will be like a serious. I don't know how serious we'll take killer clowns from space.
Well, the people that like it love it. Like I have that movie on VHS and DVD, like from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like we watched it. We watched it as a family when I was a teenager, and we were just like, this weird movie is so funny and so cool.
But it's got to win over younger audiences is the trouble.
Right. Yeah, it's like the trouble with transitioning from like a cult classic movie to more like mainstream game is going to be difficult.
I think it's going to have a tougher time than Evil Dead, because Evil Dead had like new TV series and lots of films to rely on. Like
right, like there hasn't
and it's very iconic. Evil Dead. I just worried that Killer Clowns is maybe a little niche, but
I mean, I wonder if there's like a remake or a reboot in the works, because otherwise there hasn't been, like you said, there hasn't been any new media for Killer Clowns in a while.
No.
Yeah.
But imagine if it does come out with a new film or something, a remake.
Yeah. I mean, that would definitely help. I don't know if that's in the works or not.
I could see a TV series. That might work better.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I could do that. I could see that.
Like a Netflix series or
just a one and done Netflix series. Come back.
Yeah.
Shudder would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I am like hyped for it though. It created a lot of buzz, like a surprising amount of buzz.
I think it's because it caught everyone so off guard.
It was so weird to see. Like it was just like nobody knew about it. Nobody even saw it coming.
It could be there could have been like rumors about it, but who's checking the Killer Clown forums?
Yeah, well,
there's rumors about anything.
I feel like somebody would have said something to me as somebody like, "Did you hear that they're making a Killer Clowns game?" I didn't hear anything until the trailer dropped.
I feel like you'd see that rumor though and be like, no, it's not.
Yeah. And they did such a good job. Like those, like the footage and the screenshots. I was just like, it looks exactly like the movie. Like
it looks very good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that a bunch of the initial hype is because of how their social media team just like slam dunk. They were all over Twitter, and they were really reading creatively and doing a lot of. It's just like really fun. I think that they're doing an excellent job of hyping the game up. And I mean, I agree that like it's a niche license. Like there are going to be a lot of us older people watched it when we were younger, and obviously I'm a huge fan as well. But I think a lot of people are going to discover it for the first time because of the game, and I think that they've got a lot of good source material to work with. Clowns are always, and they don't take themselves seriously at all, right? So they could just get really ridiculous with it, and it'll be a lot of fun.
It could end up taking that spot of like, you were saying about Prop Night being the casual one. This could be the casual one if it doesn't take itself hyper seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not basing this on anything, but just my own opinion. I think that there's room for like maybe like 3 big Asyms right now. Like DVD is really the only one that's getting a lot of play, but I think there's room like on that spectrum for 2 others to kind of fill a more casual and a more competitive slot. And I mean, right now it's like, I don't know. I feel like VHS and Evil Dead are both kind of on the same end of the spectrum, but it'll be, I mean, there's room for more.
I think Texas Chainsaw is going to take one of those spots.
Yeah. I think Texas Chainsaw could definitely move in on the casual side too, just because it'd be so fun. It'd be so different and chaotic, We'll see. I think both of them are 2023, right? At the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Next year's
It's a very promising time to be an Asym horror fan.
It is. I'm glad that we're finally seeing some of these games come out, because I think there was a time like last year before VHS, before Prop Night were around. I was like, why is no one cashing in on this? I think I remember us discussing this, being like, why is Sony not making something? Why is like one of these big companies going, let's make one? Yeah, like how come all these AAA companies that all, as soon as Fortnite blew up, they were just like, we're making a battle royale too. Like none of them are attempting this. It's small indie companies, and it still is, which is fine. But I'm still kind of blown away. It's like, it seems like DBD has kind of proven that this can be massively profitable and popular.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just glad
Definitely
to see that more
profitable.
games.
I've got enough Attack on Titan skins and Resident Evil skins now to prove that people pay.
Oh, dude, DVD must have made so much money from the Resident Evil DLC, like unbelievable.
Oh
You
yeah,
have to.
so much immediately.
It's all you're seeing anymore too. Is like every game is just Weskers and just so many. Like every survivor is Resident Evil theme. Like I can't imagine there's anybody that hasn't like already picked up at least one thing that's Resident Evil related from DVD. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the new DLC is $12, but then like you got the Sheva and Carlos like legendary skins, and that's another like $10 each for those. I mean, and I just see them everywhere all the time. And then, you know, Jill's and Leon's are in the lobbies too, and it's like
I really hope this Resident Evil Chapter 2 maybe, I don't know, encourages some of the other IP to go, we could do another chapter.
Stranger Things,
Silent Hill.
Yeah, Silent Hill, dude.
Like what can Konami doing with it? They made us
right. Well, according to the Twitter rumor mill, every month it's like, oh, there's gonna be a new one. I've heard they're working on 3 different games, 3 different Silent Hill games. And I'm like, it's been years since you guys have been saying this.
It's gonna be 3 different slot machines. Chill out.
Yeah. No, Bloober Team's working on one. Oh, Bloober Team's working on a pachinko machine? That's kind of out of their wheelhouse. Yeah. Overall, yeah, I think you summed it up well. It's a good time to be an Asym horror fan.
Absolutely agreed.
Well, I think this has been a very productive and entertaining discussion with the 3 of us.
I've enjoyed it.
I think we did really well, considering we literally like woke up this morning and we were just like, yeah, let's just go. We didn't even have a name picked out until just before we hit record. So yeah, I think it worked out really well. And
we are professional.
You know, I just want to put out this teaser before we close out episode 1 of season 1. We're also going to, moving forward, you know, we want to do this first one, just the 3 of us, to establish our dynamic and to make you.
I think it's like dominance then. To establish our dominance.
Well, that too. But in the future, we'll also be having some very interesting guests, names that you're all familiar with, and we'll be talking about Asym horror with them as well. Won't say who, but next episode you might see you might get introduced to the first guest. Who knows?
Well, I'm excited.
I'm glad to hear it, Gary.
I don't want to share the stage with anybody. All right.
This is Doug's last episode.
Doug's out.
Doug's out.
I'm retiring after this episode. I don't want all the attention you guys are paying to these guests, man.
Doug, you gotta stick around for season 2. The next episode coming up.
Season 2 will be the season I take off. Then I'll have my big return in season 3.
Oh,
okay. Okay, so 2 episodes from now.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
This is such a stupid joke that makes no sense to anyone watching. So,
well, okay. So we're planning on having, this is season 1, episode 1. Next episode will be season 2, episode 1, and then that way we build up hype for the season premiere every episode.
Oh God.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's foolproof. It's a great marketing plan.
It's gonna be massive.
I like it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Or hear you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.